Hello, I want to come to you today and just make a little short update video about the budget process. The budget process is over. The county council passed a budget on October the 24th, and it will be in effect obviously January the 1st of 2024. Now, I want to tell you exactly what happened as I was going along all the way through trying to give information, trying to inform the council of what we needed, trying to compromise, trying to do all those things. Was the result of us doing what we thought was the right thing. The council cut $1.496 million from the sheriff's office budget. Let me repeat that. $1.496 million, almost $1.5 million from our budget from last year. Folks, that's about a 30%, a little over maybe a 30% cut in our budget from a year ago. I tell my colleagues across the state that how much money that was cut from my budget, and they obviously think that I'm not telling them the truth and there's no way they could do that, but it's the truth. They did it. Not only did they cut our budget that much to try to hamper us, in the same meeting on October the 24th, they passed a resolution. Not only did they strip us of $1.5 million, but they passed a resolution to end a pay matrix that had been put in place several years ago by myself, and also the prior county council had gotten together and worked out a deal for the deputies and jailers. For every year they stayed, they got a 1.5% increase. It was called the sheriff's pay matrix, and what it is, obviously, it's a retention tool to keep people here after we train them and after we give them the equipment and everything, to keep them here working for us after we've invested in them. It worked very well. So what do? They take the stick and they poke us in the eye, and they take that sheriff's pay matrix away by a resolution that they didn't even read in the meeting. They didn't even have the guts to read the resolution during the meeting because they knew if people heard what the resolution was that there would be a backlash. So they underhandedly passed it, done away with it just by reading the resolution number. Unbelievable. Now, I'll tell you this. Didn't stop there. During the budget process, at the very end there, of course, everyone knows that we was showing data, showing everything we had to prove our point. They approached me and said, listen, we will give you guys $1.50 raise if you get rid of one of your road deputy positions. Okay, so I did the math on that, and by both of our agreement in a meeting, we figured up that the average road deputy cost about $99,000 a year actually to fund. So during this, they said they would give me $1.50 if I've got rid of one deputy position. I asked them, I said, why wouldn't you give me more money? I said, $1.50, is nothing compared to what I'm giving you by giving this position up, around $99,000. $1.50 only ends up being about $34,320. Check my math on that. I'm not a mathematician, but it's somewhere around that. It's what it would cost. Now, where's that other $60-some thousand that we gave back to the budget? We don't know where that went to. I asked them why wouldn't they just give my folks, whatever that amount of money was that they'd taken away from us, put it back into the salaries. But they refused to do that. I had to accept what they called was the compromise. Of course, all of us here in Scott County know that that's no compromise. We did all the compromise and they took all the gain, which that's fine because I had to do something to try to get my folks a pay raise so that they could eat. Now, if I'm wrong, if anybody says and they watch this and they say I'm wrong, that's fine. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll admit when I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I will tell you I am sorry. My parents and grandparents told me years ago, Jerry, if you're wrong, you own it. And I'll be more than happy to own anything that I say that is wrong. Now, remember this though. I'm a police officer. Before I hand in a case, I have proof, documentation, evidence to prove what it is that I'm stating in a case to goes before the prosecutor and the judge. Okay, I'm no different than it, well, as an administrator at the sheriff's office. If I'm going to make a case, if I'm coming on and making a video, I'm going to have the proof that I need to prove my case. I've got all that proof. I can show it anybody wants it. I've showed several people. They leave, you know what I'm saying, and knowing, yes, okay, you're right, you're right. I'll show it to anybody that wants to see it. We've shown it to newspapers. We've shown it to everybody. We have nothing to hide. I'm transparent. I have nothing to hide. Not being transparent is when you pass a resolution at a county council meeting that does away with a pay matrix that affects all your employees. That's not being transparent. I'll show anyone anything that I have here. I have no problem with that, and everyone knows that. And again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But someone needs to prove me that I'm wrong on what I'm telling the people. Now, I will tell you this. Obviously, I've spoken to my deputies and the jailers, obviously, too. And I can tell you they're one tough group of people. They have pledged to me that they will do whatever it takes. They will work nonstop around the clock to keep Scott County as safe as it is now. There is no way they want it to go back. And I know the citizens of Scott County don't want it to go back to the way it was. We're not going to let that happen. They've dug in and they've said we're going to do whatever it takes. I applaud them. I'm extremely proud of them for their effort, for their ethic, and for their desire to keep our kids and our families and property also safe. I appreciate that. I also appreciate the fact that we've got 23,000 deputies out there that call us on a regular basis, giving us information. You are really the ones that make the difference for us. Please keep doing that. Now, I'm going to give some updates as we go along here as I get the full budget as I can see. But the one thing that I'm trying to figure out and what everyone's asking me that I can't answer is where did the $1.5 million that they took from our budget go to? It just didn't disappear. And I'm humble enough to say this. If they can show us where the $1.5 million was taken and put somewhere else that was more important than keeping it in public safety, we have no problem with that. If there's something that had to be paid for, something that needed to be done, and they took it from us, okay, that's fine. That's no issue. The problem that bothers me is this. We hear about all of these defunding the police cases all over the United States, especially on the West Coast, even up in Wisconsin, Minnesota, and some different places about, the police getting defunded. Folks, you don't have to go no further. And who would have thought? Who would have thought that you would be in Scott County, Indiana, and see the Scott County Sheriff's Office being defunded? And there is no other word for it. It is being defunded by the county council. It's heartbreaking to me. Most folks that I speak to completely are unbelievable, or they say it's unbelievable what's been happening. But again, I want you to understand this. I make a promise to you, and when I promise you, I'll keep it. I love Scott County, as I keep telling you that. Everybody knows that. So does my deputies, and so does my jailers and all the other employees we have here at Scott County Sheriff's Office. We're going to continue to work as hard as we can to provide the safest county that we can provide. We're not going to let some outside influence come and try to tread on us, keep us downtrodden, and affect what we do. It is not going to work. I promise you that. As your sheriff, I promise you we will do everything we can to keep Scott County as safe as it is today. If you want to see any paperwork of the budgets and those things that I talk about on a regular basis, because I know for some folks it could be kind of confusing because it is, different line items, different budgets, and those things that we talk about. I can explain that to you. I can show you evidence that I have, backing up everything that I'm saying. I have nothing to hide. I wouldn't be saying it again here on the video if I did. And one important thing before I go is this: we will not jeopardize the service that we're providing for the citizens of Scott County. I promise you that. If you need anything, you contact us here at the Sheriff's Office. We will be there to help you. Thank you.